Has to, I think.
Survive 5 with 4. I have so far.
The Hall of Famer Tito Santana, hoping to give.
Hello, hey guys.
Hello there, my very good friends, ATB and Tan, till 5.
Wedding my jeans, bro.
Whoopity whoop! We're back. It's till 5. I'm ATB. That's
I'm
Tan.
Till 5 Tan. That's right. And we are here for another episode of Till 5 Wrestling. This is the 6th episode of season 4.
That's right. And I have officially swayed Tanner into Tan into the JCW world. And as a return of the favor, we are dropping the WCW rewatch. You can find that over on the Nostalgia Trip. So, Tan, let's start things off right here with a look back at JCW Lunacy, episode 57.
All right, man. I can't lie. I'm enjoying JCW. I'm not going to pretend I don't. Whether I like the clowns and the juggalos or not, this is a good product. I'm happy for this product. And the show starts this week. Vito reinstates cocaine. Thank God.
Yeah, I know. You're very excited about that.
I love cocaine and Stephen Flo, but he tells Stephen Flo that they have to wrestle in the main event, and he has to prove himself. He's got to beat cocaine's ass. He can't take it easy on cocaine.
Well, and that's, that's what Vito wants. He wants some killers in his company.
They're very much doing the Kane and X-Pac thing, and I really like that.
Yeah, you pointed that out last week, and that's very accurate. That's a
really
very
like
accurate description of the two of them.
So then we go straight into Misfit Matt Cross,
Which
who
I guess
feels sort of disrespected by the JCW audience, I suppose. He's been there, they said, he's one of the longest tenured competitors in JCW.
Well, Matt Cross may be the oldest wrestler on the Indies at this point, but he feels disrespected because the fans don't care about him, like they do the Willie Macks of the world, where they're chanting family to them.
Do you know who else they care about?
Ninja Mack.
Ninja Mack, and that is who Matt Cross's opponent was. They had a fun match. Matt Cross is pretty much the same wrestler he was 25 years ago.
Oh, Matt Cross is still phenomenal.
Awesome. There is no reason he shouldn't be on television somewhere.
I'm not a huge Ninja Mack fan, but the match was suitable. That was fine.
I'm a really big guy. I'm a really big Ninja Mack guy. I got on him, caught on his train in Japan.
From there, we go into Jasmine St. Clair talking to Congo Kong backstage because they've apparently got some friends in high places. Remember, she was in that limo.
Yep, and they got to impress the friends in high places tonight.
I think Congo Kong does that when he beats Willie Mack in the next match.
Yep, via referee distraction. Mr. Happy does his happy dance. We like that. Yeah,
I'm really enjoying Mr. Happy. I think it's great.
I'm enjoying that entire stable as of right now.
Yeah, it is. The Sinclair Monster Corporation.
Yep.
St. Clair Monster Corporation.
Yeah, you did it again. St. Clair.
God, I can write it, but I can't say it. Anyways.
That brings us into the, and I believe this is what they said about 12 times on commentary. He's the Red Mexican, CJ Dirt.
Yes.
Teaming with Luster the Legend, formerly of Reno Scum, which was also mentioned a lot on commentary. Versus the Outbreak, our favorite tag
team. Together we
yes.
Facts right there. Barnabas is leading the boys out for another win.
Dude, they are so awesome and they are dominant.
we go from my favorite part of the show to my least favorite part of the show, as we're gonna have Jeeves take on Mike Rogers.
This was fucking horrible.
I don't like Mike Rogers. I told you I didn't like Pirate Mike. I'm just not.
Well, that gimmick popped me. This gimmick popped me at first, but then Mike can't wrestle. I'm starting to notice over the course of the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Jeeves is a fun character. The best part of this to me was Caleb Conley on commentary. He kept saying, "I'm gonna fucking kill Jeeves. If he loses, I'm gonna kill him."
Well, it was very suitable. Just get it over with.
But that's okay, because I thought the next one picked up the pace a little bit. We had
we get Suicide, formerly from TNA.
That's
formerly
right. Who has his TNA gimmick from theme song from the video game, which is interesting.
Yeah, we've got Suicide, the video game character, taking on Too Tough Tony.
Too Tough Tony's entrance is popping me now. I didn't like it at first, but now he's just running around pouring drinks. It seems like a good time. Like, I think if I was there, it would probably be a fun time.
Probably. It screams hepatitis to me.
That's welcome to the Juggalo land, is what I say as far as that goes. That is a problem.
Well, obviously, Too Tough Tony retains his JCW title, as he seems to do almost every week.
It was fine. It wasn't offensive. They did make note of letting us know that the JCW title is typically the main event of the shows.
Yeah. But this week,
in this instance, because of Cocaine and Stephen Flo, because that is kind of diabolical. These are their most marketable stars right now. These guys in the Outbreak.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I feel like we're putting the right people in the right slots.
I definitely think so. We're building to something here. This episode very much feels like a stepping stone. You're
getting the more exciting work in the opening of the show. You're getting the storyline heavy stuff at the end of the show. It works.
It's
simple
old school wrestling.
Simple writing.
But then you get to the main event, Cocaine and Stephen Flo. And as Stephen Flo is making his entrance, Vito comes out and tells him, you got to go down there and you got to kill this guy, man. You got to do this. He's hyping up Stephen Flo, which is hilarious because the size difference is awesome.
Yeah.
So they have a super fun match, man. I really enjoyed this match. A lot of reversals. They knew each other well. Like, they actually do have chemistry.
Well, it is that Kane and X-Pac story.
Yeah, they legit have chemistry. They work well together, and that was great. I liked it.
Yeah. Of course, the devil's favorite dealer's gonna win over Stephen Flo. The song is stuck in my head at this point.
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
I can't read his name without thinking that.
Stephen Flo, yeah. That's the whole song. That's amazing. But then
St. Clair Monster Corporation. St. Clair, I got it right that time.
You did it that time. They come out and they attack Stephen Flo. Not only did they attack Stephen Flo, at this point, Cocaine has walked to the back after they raised each other's arms.
Yeah.
They beat the absolute shit out of Stephen Flo, like old school style.
Yeah. And we're left with another cliffhanger.
And it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's like somebody knows to tell a story. You need to have a cliffhanger to get people from episode to episode.
And I think we may get some fun meat matches out of the St. Clair Monster Corporation versus Cocaine.
I think that we will. We'll probably have Flo Kane against the St. Clair Monster Corporation in a week or two on JCW.
Yeah, and it's going to be
But we'll
awesome.
have to wait and see. We got to wait and see what's cooking, what's up next. This rebuilding of JCW has been a lot of fun.
Once again, I wrote in the notes, another fun show. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you're looking to do some remodeling, perhaps you should go see our good friends at Stover's Liquidation. They are open from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., 24 hours online, however, at www.stoversliquidation.com. We highly recommend you go see our friends at 481 Tulsa Road in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. 865-523-4449 is the way to reach them. They are closed on Sundays. Go see them. Tell them Till 5 sent you. Now, Tim, I quickly glossed over somebody who was on this week's JCW.
Yes, you did.
Because you're going to get to cover Willie Mack with some Juggalo Jargon.
Oh, I love the name of this segment. Believe it or not, I came up with that. Juggalo Jargon. How about that? Isn't that awesome? All right. Well, anywho, he debuted on the Indies in 2006, and he pretty much worked everywhere. He was all over the Indies, most notably in PWG and Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Now, I watched a lot of him on that because it aired randomly on DirecTV back in the day. So I saw him on that. It was fun.
Yeah, he was good there. But then in 2015, he would get signed by Lucha Underground, and that was super fun. He would become a 2-time Lucha Underground Trios champ there. Good matches. I know you haven't seen a lot of the Lucha Underground stuff, ATB.
No, not a lot of it.
Check it out. It's a lot of fun if you can find it. I don't know where you can find it these days. Maybe nowhere.
I'm not really worried about it.
Well,
I've got
really
enough
good.
wrestling that I can't watch now.
When that fell through, he went to TNA or Impact in 2018, and he had memorable runs there, teaming with Rich Swann and becoming X Division champ.
Well, he was kind of like a Samoa Joe, is what it felt like they were trying to build him up as. But it just
Sort of, but
didn't,
he just never.
He was
never
more
clicked.
fun.
He was more fun than he was serious.
Hmm?
And that's okay, and he understood that role, and he kind of stuck to that. He would go to the NWA for a while, where he was taken a little bit more credibly as a threat, and he would become a national champion there. But currently, outside of his sort of kind of per appearance Ring of Honor deal.
Well, he's got a contract.
Okay, well, besides that, he's working in the place where he is the king, one of the kings, the chocolate juggalo, Willie Mack, is in JCW. And he is a two-time JCW champion. So how about that, Aaron?
I mean, look, you know more about Willie Mack than I do.
I like Willie Mack. He's a fun wrestler. Check him out if you want to have some fun. His team with Rich Swann, I think, is his highlight for me from his Impact days.
I've gotten to see Willie on some indies. He's a good worker. I don't have anything against him. He just never really clicked with me as somebody I felt that I needed to watch all the time. Yeah. So to see him on JCW getting beat up, I'm enjoying it. I'm all for it.
There you go. You're enjoying it either way, and that's Willie Mack.
Now, one person that both of us enjoyed whenever he came out to the ring, and what he'd like to have right now, is for all you internet marks to shut your mouths and listen to Till 510 as he tells you about a wrestler that was taken too soon and had a body that was too damn good for all the ladies, ravishing Rick Rude.
You sounded more like Joel Gertner than Rick Rude, but that was excellent.
I didn't want to sound like Rick Rude. That was the point.
Excellent. Well, his wrestling career as an active competitor spanned between 1982 and 1994, and included a few different stints in WCW in WWF, where he would become Intercontinental Champion. He was the freaking man, ravishing Rick Rude, should have been world champion. Had great matches with the likes of Jake Roberts and Randy Savage.
Really enjoyed the fact that Rick would use his tights to get under the skin of his opponents.
Yeah, I love that. Yep. He would put their wives and shit on his tights, whatever he could do.
I remember my dad talking about going to a WWF house show back in the day. And all the women going nuts for Rick Rude. And I think it was Rude and Warrior in a steel cage. Yeah, like this was 90, 91.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, the ladies loved Rude, and that made the men hate him even more.
But you know what? He was taken a little bit more seriously in other stints in WCW, where he would become a multi-time international world heavyweight championship. Now, ATB, do they count that in the lineage?
They don't. I think they should. I'm pretty sure that it's counted as the WCW world title.
Okay. Is that during the era where Flair went to WWF?
Yes, it's when Flair went to the WWF with the world heavyweight title, and they had to come up with something quickly. So they made this belt. To me, it's still the WCW world title. When Flair showed back up, it felt like a secondary belt to me.
Well, he was multi-time champion there. United States champion there.
As far as I'm concerned, Rick Rude was a 3-time world champion in WCW.
We're going to count it.
Yeah.
But he was awesome there. He was part of the Dangerous Alliance.
You've heard me talk about it for a year. I love the Dangerous Alliance. It was fun times.
That's good stuff.
Stunning
really helped
Steve.
a young Stunning Steve.
Yep. As the backup to Rude, who was the leader of that group. That's the awesome thing about the Dangerous Alliance. He was
Art Anderson there. What was it? Larry Zbyszko?
Bobby Eaton and Larry Zbyszko.
That's a hell of a team.
I feel like Eaton and Zbyszko were the Flair and Batista, and then Austin was the Randy Orton, and Rude was the Triple H.
Yeah.
Of this stable.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was evolution for you.
And it was a damn
100%.
good one.
Yes,
then,
it was.
unfortunately, in 1994, he would suffer a severe back injury, and it forced him into early retirement.
Yeah, there is some debate on whether he might have overplayed that so that he could cash in on Lloyd's of London insurance. He would come years later. He would try and get Bischoff to let him come back to the ring.
He made history when he appeared on WWF and WCW on the same night.
Yeah, that was November 17th, 1998.
Wow. Did you write that in your notes, or did you just know that?
Hold on just a second.
1997.
1997. I actually shared it on our Facebook page yesterday.
Bingo. Perfect time to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly why we're talking about Rick Rude. It's almost like there was a plan that went into motion here.
He would also show up in ECW briefly and associate with Shane Douglas for like 2 weeks, and then he was gone.
Well, Rude showed up and worked with everybody that hated Shawn Michaels. That's how this works.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. He would end up joining the NWO. Very
it was cool.
briefly.
I like the visual of Rick Rude in the suit standing behind him. He's the insurance policy.
Yeah. He passed away April of 99, very prematurely. But he always wanted to come back. So I like to think that somewhere there's an alternate timeline where Rick Rude does get to come back.
I'd like to be in that timeline.
So we're going to say that Rick Rude didn't die in April of 99. We're going to say that Rick Rude went away for a few months. But we're going to have him come back in October, and he's going to be what pulls Kurt Hennig away from the West Texas Rednecks. He is going to get attacked by the Filthy Animals. Rude is going to get attacked by the Filthy Animals. And the West Texas Rednecks aren't going to want to get involved again because they'd already gotten beat down by them.
Mm-hmm.
But Kurt stands up, and it ends up, let's go with Kendall and Barry Windham losing the tag team titles to Kurt Hennig and Rick Rude at Starrcade. Let's just start that right there. They're tag team champions. So we get into January of 2000, and this is quite possibly the worst point in WCW's history, folks. I'm telling you, they were doing some horrible viewership back then. And I promise I'm not just... So in January, they had built up this new NWO, and I think that's where I would have had Rick and Kurt. They would have been part of that New World Order rehash. But they weren't interested in the tag team titles. I would have had them keep them and defend them, but then eventually just be like, do we really need these anymore? Because they beat everybody.
That's true.
So they will give them to the Harris twins.
Oh, God.
It's tag team titles. It's fine. Because that's going to allow Kurt to be the secondary man as Rick and Bret Hart get to wrestle for the world title picture in March of 2000. Because let's face it, does anybody remember anything from March of 2000 WCW? Let's look at what match we could have easily swapped Rick Rude in here. Look, the Harris twins won the tag team titles.
It work. It's gonna work.
It's gonna work. Oh my God, that was the Yappa Pie strap match between Hogan and Flair. let's just go ahead and take Sid Vicious out of the world title picture and put Rick Rude in it from 2000. So we're going to have Rude against Jeff Jarrett for the world title. Jarrett's not going to be in this NWO.
Okay.
Instead of Brett, we'll let Jarrett go away, and we'll let Brett, Hennig, Rude, Nash, and the Harris Twins and Scott Steiner.
Okay.
These are just guys who are there to kick ass and take names and win championships. No more just filling it with everybody that's a friend.
And they're all ex WWF, which is the original.
Yep, that was the original idea. And they're all after gold. It doesn't matter who gets what gold. So Rude's got the world title. You know, Nash obviously is Nash. He's going to be jealous. Eventually, he'll have to turn on him. So maybe that's what Russo comes in 2000, and he causes the split of the NWO when he takes all the titles. That's the point that the NWO has lost all of their power, and it just kind of dissolves. We can have the NWO with all the belts when Russo comes in April of 2000. And it be, look, bros, we're not doing this anymore. You guys have done this stuff for years. It's time for some new blood. And we end up splitting up the NWO. The Harris twins realize there's money to be made as Russo's security. So they become Russo's security guards. Nash can take the payday from Russo too. It's all about money. But Hennig and Rude, they aren't in it for that. So we're gonna have them. They're already millionaires.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that they belong in the Millionaires Club. Nash was always,
without using the name, Hennig could revert back into a Mr. Perfect-esque character.
Yep. Yeah, he could go back to doing the perfect plex and spitting the gum with his towel every week. Rude could go back out flaunting. And imagine one of the, like, Johnny Stamboli having a ravishing Stamboli gimmick. And then Rude just coming in and kind of standing in front of him and kind of eclipsing him with his body. Like, look at this chump. I'm 15 years older than him, and this is what I look like. This would have worked for these guys.
Because I'm ravishing
Rick Rude. And I don't think Rude would have had a problem putting over the younger talent in the long run.
Hennig definitely wouldn't either.
No, these two guys would have been great workers to have helped develop the Sean O'Hares, the Chuck Palombos. Even Kidman wouldn't have been stuck working with Hogan. He could have worked with Perfect, because I don't think that Perfect would have left in 2000 if he had had Rude around to work with. And I think that Russo would have been willing to take that shot and let Rude keep working.
Yep.
So I think we would have had an extension of Rick Rude running through WCW through the end, maybe even the final Nitro. We could have had Rude against Hennig, like the two good friends, and let that be the end of Rude's career.
Does he not return to WWF or TNA or anything in this?
Well, I don't think he'd be returning to the WWF after everything. He probably would have went to TNA, but I think that Rick wouldn't have had a lot more time in the ring because there would have been some rust.
Worked a couple of matches to manager role.
Yeah, I think it would have been a lot of fun. He could have been a great manager, or the muscle for Russo and Sports Entertainment Extreme.
Yeah, that could have been. Yeah,
that would have been great.
Back to that, standing around in a suit.
He could have been the guy that, when Russo wasn't there, smacked Glenn Gilberti around and said, "Look, Vince wouldn't have liked this."
He would have been awesome in that role.
Yeah, he would have been great there. There we go. We figured that one out together.
Easy.
Rude can ride out the end of his career in TNA as a handler, muscle, whatever, and that just be it. Instead of us having to say goodbye to him way too soon.
Yep.
Now, I do want to recommend that anybody who's feeling a little down, perhaps you've got a little bit of the holiday humbugs. Maybe you should talk to our good friends at Green Hemp Company to see if they can get you in a brighter spirit. They're rolling in the foothills of the Smokies at 2560 East Andrew Johnson Highway, Suite 3 in Greenville, Tennessee. You can call them at 423-609-7138. They're open from 9 a.m. until 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. on Sundays. Go see our good friend Hot Donna. No guarantee there will be a tally in the house, but there will be all of the quality THC products that you can expect from our good friends at Green Hemp Company.
And don't forget to bring a towel.
Speaking of bringing a towel.
Yeah, so now it's tanager time. We're doing this once again. And and it's going to be Sherri Martel, Sensational Sherri, ATB.
I really liked Sensational Sherri back in the day. She was a good one. I didn't realize she'd popped up in ECW till I was.
Well, we'll touch on that a little later. She started her career on the Indies, or in the territories, rather, in the early 80s. She was managing Dr. Tom Pritchard. But in 1985, she would join AWA. Now, before I go any further, I would like to say that she had a very vast wrestling career, very decorated wrestling career.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just a Sensational Sherri. This is her tanager time.
Yeah.
And it's because
we're talking about the.
Should we go ahead and spill the beans of what we're building up to?
We'll get to that. Okay. We'll get to that. For right now, but that's right. This segment is simply about managerial services. Has nothing to do with the in-ring career. We'll be here all day for Sherri.
Yeah.
So, in 1985, she would join the AWA. She would manage Playboy Buddy Rose and Pretty Boy Doug Summers. They would win the AWA tag titles. In 87, she would join WWF as a wrestler, but in 1990, that division would dissolve. So she would become the manager for a freshly healed Randy Savage.
The Macho King, yeah.
During that time, she also would manage Honky Tonk Man, and he'll interfere in his Intercontinental Tag matches, help him out.
Honky Tonk Tan.
Yeah, love that guy too. Then she would go on to manage Ted DiBiase until 1992. That didn't last very long either. But then she would manage the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, in one of her most memorable spots, in my opinion.
Absolutely. When I think of Sherri, I think of two managerial roles. One of them is Shawn Michaels, especially the WrestleMania when he had the big mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was just a great entrance. Sherri was perfect, and it fit to have her screaming for Shawn, the sexy boy.
Even sang the theme song.
Yeah.
She sang it. Yeah, it made a lot more sense than Shawn singing it himself.
Sexy boy, sexy boy.
Sherri was awesome. She was loud. She was abrasive. But that really didn't last long. That lasted about a year before she would leave in 1993. And she would show up at ECW. During this time in ECW, they thought that they may be able to get Ric Flair to do a spot there. That's relevant to the situation because she would briefly manage Shane Douglas, but then she would turn on Shane Douglas just a couple weeks later and say that she did it on behalf of Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Ironically, just a couple months later, she would join WCW and begin managing Ric Flair for a brief time.
Well, she did it for Ric Flair.
As they
Sherri was all about the continuity there.
Yeah, she did. That didn't last long, but then she would become Sister Sherri and start managing Harlem Heat.
Loved all of the Colonel Robert Parker, Sensational Sherri back and forth back in the day. It was fun. It was
awesome.
Yeah, that was the fun stuff of wrestling back in the day that I feel like maybe we'll get back to someday. Just,
and
this badass woman trying to beat the shit out of the Colonel that's aggravating her all the time.
She would stay in WCW until 2000, but she didn't pop up on TV too much after the Harlem Heat thing ended, did she?
No, she didn't.
I think she worked a match or two, maybe.
I really don't remember anything much after that, aside from when she popped up in TNA.
And that was the basic gist of it.
She popped up.
Sporadic appearances. She popped up for a Shawn Michaels thing in like 05 or 06 on WWE. I do remember that.
and she popped up as a potential manager for Bobby Roode in TNA.
Yeah.
But it ended up being Tracy Brooks.
She was a kick-ass manager. Sherri was awesome.
Well, Sherri was great. That's how I was going to look here. So she made 3 appearances for WCW in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
She showed up ringside for Benoit against Sid. It sold out. That was the clusterfuck of a pay-per-view that had everybody. Like Jarrett had a concussion, or Brett had a concussion. Jarrett had hurt his knee or something. And then Benoit ended up walking out the next week. So yeah, that pay-per-view was.
That's the pivot.
Yeah. Then she shows up on the January 19th episode of Thunder, where she would wrestle Medusa and lose, and then she would show up and wrestle Mona, aka Molly Holly, and lose as well on Nitro, I believe.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah,
I thought she wrestled a couple matches.
Sherri, she paid it forward a lot, and that's Molly Holly was a big person that believed in paying it forward. Did you know that she actually paid for Beth Phoenix's OVW training?
That's awesome.
Beth met Molly at a Access and gave her a tape of her work. And Molly told her she sat down with Tom Pritchard and watched the tape, and they told
I said Dr. Tom brought up again twice in a show.
Told her that she needed to go to OVW, and when she got there to pay it, Danny Davis said that all of her lessons had been paid for by Molly Holly.
That's awesome. Well, there you go. Molly Holly, good person.
There's a fun story. Eventually, we'll get more into Molly Holly's career at some point.
I'm sure we will. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure to check us out next week. We won't be covering a WCW rewatch.
Hell no, we won't, but you can guarantee we'll be covering JCW.
Is that all we're going to be covering, Tan?
Yeah.